The end of the Stephen Curry era isn't approaching. It's actually the beginning of a new chapter. It's tough to picture him in any position other than the lead role. After 17 NBA seasons, 4 championships, 2 MVP awards, and the all-time record for three-pointers made, Curry has solidified his status. Yet, what might be most surprising about him isn't what he's already done, but what he still has left to achieve. This week, a statement has reignited excitement among Dub Nation, and it comes from someone who not only shares his last name, but also understands him deeply. His father, Dell Curry. A former NBA player himself, Dell insisted that Steph's career is far from over. In fact, he said the finish line is still a long way off. That decision will be his, Dell said during an interview with PFSN. Most players retire when the league tells them, "We no longer need your services." With Steph, it's different. Steph still shoots with incredible accuracy, commands the defense's full attention, and opens the floor for his teammates. These qualities help stretch a career. He can play until he's 40, Dell stated confidently. And in that simple sentence lies the answer many Warriors fans have been searching for. If Curry's journey isn't ending, then neither is his legacy. Let's rewind for a moment. In 2009, the Golden State Warriors drafted Steph with the 7th overall pick. Back then, nobody, not the fans, not the experts, not even the organization, expected that a skinny kid from Davidson would go on to change basketball forever. He wasn't the fastest or the strongest player on the floor, but there was something in his demeanor, a quiet confidence and unwavering trust in his shooting ability. Then the revolution began. In 2015, 2017, 2018, and 2022, Curry led the Warriors to 4 championships. Alongside Klay Thompson and Draymond Green, and under coach Steve Kerr, they built a dynasty that transformed the sport. The NBA was forced to evolve as 30-foot shots became not exceptions but part of the norm. Now, at 37, Curry is preparing to begin his 17th season. While age has slowed down many of his peers, he still plays like he's in his prime. So what keeps him going? According to Dell, the real answer goes beyond the stats. He still has the fire to compete, he said. That's not going anywhere. He still has the skill and the desire, so it's entirely his choice. If you're watching this, it's likely because you've experienced this journey with Steph. You saw him dominate during his unanimous MVP season. You felt the heartbreak of the 2016 finals. You celebrated each deep three-pointer that shifted the game's balance. And you cried when he lifted the trophy in 2022. Because this isn't just Steph's story. It's the story of a team, a city, and an identity. Curry's current contract with the Warriors runs through the 2025-26 season. By then, he'll be 38. For most players, that would signal the beginning of the end. But Dell's comments suggest otherwise. The decision won't come from executives. It won't come from the media. It won't even come from his age. It will come from Steph alone. That changes everything. If he really wants and is able to play until he's 40, as Dell believes, then the Warriors aren't winding down a chapter. They're entering the final act of a saga that still has fire, talent, and hunger for more wins. Other NBA legends have extended their careers successfully. Vince Carter played until 43rd. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar won a title in his 40s. Kevin Willis stayed in the league for over 21 years. But Steph is different. He's never wanted to leave. While other stars jump from team to team late in their careers, Steph has made it clear. He wants to retire in the Bay Area wearing a Warriors jersey. That kind of loyalty is rare. It's invaluable. And it defines this franchise's soul. So, what does this mean for the future? Maybe the front office has more time to plan a seamless transition. Or perhaps they can continue to build a winning team around Curry for as long as he remains the center of gravity. But one thing is certain: the story is not over. In fact, it might still be far from the end. And what about you, the fan? Do you think Steph still has what it takes to compete at a high level for another 3 or 4 years? Should the team continue betting on this core until his contract expires? Or is it time to start preparing for the next era? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you believe we'll still see Curry on the court at 40? While Steph's future now seems to rest entirely in his own hands, something more uncertain is happening elsewhere in the league, and it could have major implications. For years, the relationship between Giannis Antetokounmpo and the Milwaukee Bucks appeared unbreakable. A superstar in a small market, a championship win, and a city that embraced him. It all felt like a fairy tale meant to last until retirement. But as Warriors fans know, nothing in the NBA is permanent. Now, that seemingly unshakable bond might be under stress. According to NBA insider Shams Charania, the quiet in Milwaukee may not indicate stability, but instead the calm before the storm. During an appearance on ESPN's Get Up, Shams cast a shadow over the Bucks' offseason and sent ripples across the league. Giannis has spent 12 years with the franchise. He's a massive part of its history. But now, he wants to see real changes. He made it clear he wants to win championships. If the Bucks can't prove they're still committed to competing at the highest level, a decision about his future could come before the end of the summer. That statement shifts everything. It reopens a door many thought had been closed, and puts teams like the Warriors on high alert. Imagine the possibility: Curry, a seasoned floor general, still aiming to play at an elite level. Giannis, in his physical prime, dominant on both ends of the floor, but frustrated by his team's stagnation. If you're in the Warriors' front office, how do you not at least consider the opportunity, even quietly? But the path forward isn't simple. Any team hoping to enter the Giannis sweepstakes must navigate a tricky balance. They can act now to strengthen the roster, or wait and risk missing out entirely, while keeping the flexibility to chase a superstar. For the Warriors, it's a brutal dilemma. Going after Giannis would require careful planning, major sacrifices, and a delicate balancing act. They'd need to preserve cap space, retain valuable assets, and maybe even delay moves that could help Curry immediately, all for a shot at something that may or may not happen. And the timeline is risky. By the time Giannis's future becomes clear, the NBA draft and free agency will be over. Trade opportunities will have passed. Teams will have made their moves. Yet, if you believe that pairing Giannis with Steph is even remotely possible, how do you not take that chance? But the risk is real, and time is ticking. The Bucks have this summer to prove they can still compete. It's not just about making any move. It's about making the right ones. If they fail, Giannis's doubt may turn into frustration. And that frustration, as history shows, often leads to a desire for a fresh start. In this context, the Warriors find themselves at a familiar crossroads, a place only the great franchises reach. They can either reshape the league again or risk watching others do it while they stand still. They've taken bold steps before. In 2016, they signed Kevin Durant and formed one of the most dominant teams in NBA history. The comparisons to that move are surfacing again now. Giannis could have a similar, if not greater, impact, especially given where Steph is in his career. But there's one major difference: time. Durant joined while both he and Curry were in their prime. Now the Warriors would be pairing a legendary veteran with a superstar at his peak. This could lead to perfect chemistry, or highlight cracks that are hard to foresee. And that brings us back to the question hanging over Chase Center since the season ended. What should the Warriors do next? If they truly believe Curry can play at a high level for another 3 or 4 years, then they must choose. Do they make smaller upgrades now and continue building around him? Or do they wait and hope to land Giannis, risking everything in the process? Waiting is dangerous. There's no guarantee the Bucks will make Giannis available. Even if they do, there's no guarantee the Warriors will have the best offer. Other teams are prepared. Other options are on the table. Right now, nobody knows what will happen next. Not the Bucks, not Giannis, not the Warriors. But the pressure is already building. So tell us, Dub Nation, should the team hold its assets and wait for a shot at Giannis, knowing it might mean missing other chances? Or should they focus on improving now, regardless of what the future holds? Share your thoughts in the comments. Would you bet on the impossible again? Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. In our next video, we'll explore what the Warriors would need to sacrifice to pursue Giannis, and whether that pursuit could threaten the franchise's core identity. Because with Steph on the roster, every move has eternal potential. And when Giannis begins to shift, the entire basketball world holds its breath.